Encouraging students to accelerate in STEAM educations is a big initiative, and one thing that is happening this weekend to expose kids to this is the Michigan State University Science Festival Expo, and it's this Sunday on Belle Isle. And joining me right now is one of the presenters from Wayne State. We have Ben Kofenauer, and he is here with gear on. You're making me nervous because I have no gear.
You're all right. No worries here.
So at least one of us will walk away. You are the planetarium coordinator. Tell us about the demonstrations that you have.
So I brought my fire and ice demos from the Wayne State University Planetarium today. We don't really have ice. Instead, we have something that's a lot colder than ice that I brought with me.
Let me guess, liquid nitrogen.
It is indeed liquid nitrogen, absolutely. And so liquid nitrogen at negative 320 degrees Fahrenheit can interact with some water in some cool ways and actually produce the same thing that you see in the sky on a cloudy day. You can have a cloud. And of course, every time I do presentations with liquid nitrogen, students ask me what would happen if I stuck my hand in the liquid nitrogen. I don't like to stick my hand in the liquid nitrogen, but I did bring a rose, which is nice and soft. And if you stick the rose in the liquid nitrogen,
it's boiling.
It'll boil the liquid nitrogen because the rose at room temperature is almost 400 degrees hotter than the liquid nitrogen in this container. So it will boil the nitrogen around it until it cools down to negative 320 degrees as well. And if I were to stick my hand in there, the same thing would happen to my hand. Our rose doesn't look all that different when we freeze it, but once it's frozen, it's not the same soft rose anymore, as you can see. And so if I hit it on the table, it doesn't do so well. Now I have to switch to our fire demo as well.
What would happen if you got a single drop of liquid nitrogen on your hand, on your skin?
A single drop should be okay because it would boil almost instantly right off. Our hands are about 400 degrees hotter than that, so it would be like hot water on a stove.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So for the last demo, for the fire demo that we have, we like to teach kids about angular momentum as well, but a fun and flashy way to do that is I put some fuel in our fire.
Is that isopropyl alcohol?
It is indeed, yeah, absolutely.
I did this when I was a kid. I shouldn't have, but...
I would definitely say you shouldn't have. So one of the ways we teach them about angular momentum is to visualize it with a fire. And I will say this is not something to try at home just because this plastic that we have here is high temperature grade plastic that was made for us by the Wayne State University Engineering Department. But the idea is the fire is in the lower part of this right here. It will spin slowly, and you'll eventually start to see it pointing at different points in the room as it begins to spin around. But because it gets up into this top point when it has a smaller room to spin, the fire will actually speed up how it spins, sort of like an ice skater when they pull their arms in when they jump into the air. So it spins.
Do you have to have that perfectly centered over that circle?
It doesn't have to be perfectly centered, no. So as long as the air is flowing up through our chimney here, it should work just fine. And then once it gets up near the top,
there it goes.
That spin has to speed up, and that's how you get a fire tornado. So it's a fun way to talk about angular momentum and get to see some fire as well.
Ah. Nice. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jason.
That was really visual and really cool. Okay. On to Tun Tran and Stephen Kalis. You are with Accelerate Kid, or AccelerateKid.com, Detroit. What's going on over here?
So we have the opportunity this year, Jason, to work with MSU Science Festival to bring in some activities for the kids. So we got the 3D printing right now. It's printing a, I don't know if you recognize this. If you have kids, you would. It's a Minecraft spider.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
So the kids actually are able to design their own work, and then they can print it if they are able to wait long enough. Our goal is not only to teach the design, but also to show them how the technology works. And also, more importantly, over here, we got Stephen to show you a little bit of what the robotics part would do at the festival.
The magic is happening.
So it's actually following a line right now. The kids were all programmed that would follow a specific color of the line. And the goal here is not only to learn to build the robots, but learn to program it. So right now, if you think about everything that we do, the technology we use, the lights that run this place, everything's running on logic. So our goal is now to teach kids about the tools, but we're also trying to teach the kids about the programming part. So that's coding.
Excellent. That, it reminds me of the little robot in WALL-E.
Yes.
The one that's always like cleaning everything up. What else do you have over there? I see something else over on the side.
So we also have Dot and Dash. Again, for our Accelerate Kid, we have 2 centers, and we teach kids from kindergarten to 8th grade. So they start anything from Dot and Dash, which is actually using drag and drop type of coding. And then you move up to something more sophisticated like Lego EV3. And then we also have VEX, which uses C++, which is text-based. So our goal is to teach kids from drag and drop all the way up to programming language as special as Java and JavaScript.
Cool. Well, thank you both, gentlemen. Let's bring in Gina Baker-Calloway, the director of MSU Detroit Center. Give us the overview on the event, if you please.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. We have a free event that's open to the public on Belle Isle. This is April 14th. And Saturday, we're going to have Accelerate Kid and Wayne State Physics and a number of other presenters that are coming out to expose individuals to science and technology, engineering, math, art and design. And we do that as a way to get folks closer to those careers that we are trying to get folks into. So we are doing this exposure activity. We have a number of events on April 14th, including a couple of tours and Science Cafe at Atwater Brewery on the 14th as well. And we have a brochure that has activities throughout the month of April for the MSU Science Festival.
Well, on short notice, where can people get more information online or social media?
They can go online to our Science Festival website at sciencefestival.msu.edu.
sciencefestival.msu.edu.
That's correct.
And Accelerate Kid, creating future creators. We're talking about classes in coding and game design, robotics, digital arts, STEAM. And in case you haven't heard, it's all about STEAM for the young ones today. So check it out. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.
And then I survived.
Thank you.